Hello, everyone. My name is Victor. I am the occult technician, and this is your occult sermon. In today's occult sermon, we will be answering the question, what is a demon? Throughout my research and practice of the occult, I have come to understand that demons are simply a spiritual representation of human nature. For example, the 7 deadly sins are represented by demons. Pride is represented by the demon Lucifer. Gluttony is represented by Beelzebub. Wrath, Satan. Envy, Leviathan. Greed, Mammon. Sloth, Belphegor. And lust, Asmodeus. According to the Thesaurus, another word for gluttony is hunger. And as we all know, hunger is simply a basic human condition. On one end of the spectrum, we have starvation. And on the other end, we have overeating. When this basic human condition of hunger is taken to the extreme of either end, we see the results as being demonic. We see the morbidly obese person or the morbidly anorexic person, and we say, oh, they must be demon-possessed, unable to control themselves. But what happens when we face our demons? When we begin to ask why we overeat or why we undereat? What happens when we get to the root cause of our demonic possession? What happens when we begin to understand the healthy balance of our human nature? We begin to grow and we begin to heal. We take control of our lives. We become happier and more successful. We find purpose and meaning and love. And this can be done through the practice of demonolatry. Demonolatry is the practice of communing with demons, taking the time to understand what they want from us, and more importantly, what they want for us. Because once again, demons are simply a spiritual representation of human nature, and human nature strives for balance. Now, there are those amongst us that understand this practice, but instead of communing with demons for the purpose of finding balance and healing, they use demonolatry to command the demons. They command your demons as a means to control you. We see it every day as the organizations, corporations, and institutions in our lives use the 7 deadly sins against us. They lure you in with greed and envy, or they shame you for your lustful desires. These are the same people who tell you that demons are evil and that you should fear them. They do this because they know that if you face your demons, if you begin to understand your own human nature and find a balanced condition, they will no longer control you. And losing control over you is their biggest fear. They need you crawling back every Sunday on your hands and knees, begging for forgiveness and tithing your way into heaven. Now, we have to ask ourselves, who are the real demons? The spiritual representations of human nature, or those people who exploit our human nature in order to control us? While working in my workshop, creating the physical art you see around me, I often found myself having the same recurring negative thoughts. Instead of focusing on the work that I was doing, I would repeatedly find myself thinking about things that upset me. That month, I was communing with a demon named Shax, Shax, who was described as speaking with a loud voice. I asked Shax to help me stay focused while I worked and to rid me of these negative thought patterns. The next time I found myself working in my woodshop, having these negative thought patterns instead of focusing on the art that I was creating, I ended up hitting my head. Not once, not twice. This happened 3 separate times. The third time was the charm. I did not need to be reminded again because Shax had spoken to me in a loud voice. This is a simple and practical example of what it means to face your demons. When we recognize those unhealthy patterns in our lives and ask for help to change them. Here is a quote from the most important book I've read on the subject of demonology, titled Magic, History, Theory, Practice by Dr. Ernst Schertl. In the book, he states, "The demons demand the bodies, and the magician demands the demonology. And both find fulfillment in the communion of the sacrifice. The bodies that the demons demand are ours. It is through our bodies that they experience and express the human condition. As the magician, we demand the demonology from them. We demand that they reveal to us the balance of human nature that we so strongly desire. We are the sacrifice. We give up our unhealthy addictions. We find balance in our desires, and we find fulfillment through this process of communion. There is no reason to fear your demons. Those who are too afraid to face their demons are simply not yet ready to address their unhealthy addictions or bad behaviors. And those who tell you to fear your demons do it as a way to control you, as a way to exploit your human nature and take advantage of you. When you are ready to face your demons, you can do so without fear. Today's occult sermon is brought to you by Shax, the 44th demon of the Goetia. When you're ready to change your way of thinking, call upon Shax. Thank you for joining me for today's occult sermon. Your friend Victor, the occult technician.
3, 2, 1. Wake up, open your eyes.